And there he is.
So I welcome everyone, and I am really very happy to present you Raphael Hefti. We are here at the Kunsthalle Basel. The exhibition has a title. It's called Salutary Failures. But it's not a failure, it's a fantastic show. And as you can see, Raphael is always doing large-scale installations, sculptural installations. And it's very important to know that it's not only about the visual aspect of the works, but it's about the materiality. It's always worth looking very deeply into the matter, into the materials. And here we are, yes, in this room full of these black structures. They look at the time sometimes very light, and sometimes it's very hard to say what it is. It looks like sponge, sand. Can you tell us what it is?
It is a non-material, it's black sand, casting sand, used in manufacturers where they do casting, aluminium or steel, bronze as well. And it's a material which been used for casting. It means like which in there they produce the negative shape, where then the liquid metal, whatever it is cast inside. And then because that material, the sand doesn't melt with this temperature, so it is a material which after it's also can be recycled again, grinded, put again with a certain kind of glue, and then put back to shape wherever we're gonna use it, you know.
So it is about also this glow of the silver, of the aluminum, and the blackness, which is it's like a dialogue between the two visual effects.
It is one needs the other. One needs the other, and it's when you cast, you always go for very precise shape. You know how it's put in the metal, so the distances should be kept short. You know, and so to keep the technical quality of the materials. And here we went the other way around. You know, like when things happen not the way they're supposed to be, like the overspills and all that. The beauty of those moments are be pushed forward. So we have all the shapes we see in here are in a way designed to provoke or to support this overspilling. Yeah.
When you go into these factories, we work with these teams. It's really the industrial world, which we actually don't know so well. It's something which is like a universe apart. We buy the products, we stand on it, this kind of materials.
Yeah.
We don't have a close relationship to the process of how it's done and how it's used and what they can do and all that.
Yeah.
But you are doing like an apprenticeship every time you you decide that you want to work with a certain material or a certain knowledge around a process which is behind, I don't know, steel or behind the production of neon light or something like that.
First of all, there's a curiosity how things are made, and it's also it's become very complex. It's so complex that it's very difficult to find out where our materials come from, how it's produced, who's behind it, all the social components. For instance, a lot of things, and going there seemed to be like a good idea. and then sometimes things which didn't work well or worked out so well in the production, maybe lying around, and you see certain materials which you know the materiality, but maybe not the outcome, or this kind of failures or things which went wrong, and then sometimes then going back to that and asking, how did this happen? What happened here? So first of all, what they do, but then also to figure out how you can treat material differently. So that's quite interesting, because that's the culture of failures, which is quite, how do you deal with that, with failures, doing something wrong? So the darkness of the material really becomes from, there's the sand, which we know, which is, well, unless it comes from Stromboli or a volcanic island, but it's not dark per se. So, but the sand is always exposed to these extreme heats, and then recycle again. So there's also, dust and things which get baked into the sand or gets dark over time, but it has a really kind of dark appearance, and it's endless in the process. So that's why it has also this very strong appearance. And then now, after 2 months of the show, the element of smell, because it has a certain glue embedded, and also the slowly maybe also some parts of metals inside. So it has a very certain kind of smell, which now is a bit less strong, but yes, it's also kind of part of a show to experience it. Yeah. But that's another thing about the show. It's like, and that's a show. It's really, you feel the weight. Elements which maybe not that's 2 meter, but like the 3 meter elements. These high elements. They can crush you, and it's quite a it's a space where you also feel a bit like, well, endangered maybe a little bit, in that room, So the really controversial aspect, yeah.
Yes, and it's about material which are very basic in a way, but they have the touch of the industrial world, of the industrial time, but which immediately open up when we look at them in this way. It opens up temporarily dimensions, which of course go back to the history of Earth, of our planet. And I think this is also the very timely aspect of topical aspect of your work, is that it has, in a way, an ecological view on the world, but it is clear in what kind of world we live today, which is marked by the industry. And so it's nature and industry. It's not nature and culture, it's nature and industry, I think. What is going on here?
What the hell do we see here? It's a celebration of the plasma. We give the gas all these glass containers, same as the technology we used to know from the that's called neon glass, neon works, as Flavin or other Bruce Norman, who did like amazing works, which they took from the advertising sector, this technology. And here it's about this material, but expand it, give it more space. The gas, give the gas more space, give the gas its space so it can reveal its own beauty.
What is astonishing is that the effects are different. It's different gas, you have
Yes.
flowing.
Yes. So for instance, this one here is like it's neon. It's neon gas, but with a bit of mercury inside. And those gases, or this one is helium. And these are elements, well, first of all, these are gases which are in the atmosphere. Right now, part of our oxygen, we inhale them. But helium, for instance, which is also an element, happened and the very first was one of the three elements which start to happen after the Big Bang. Mm-hmm. So it's one of the oldest elements, and this is, since then, it's like walking around the universe, and here we extract it from our air, and isolated it and put in this container, and expose it to a charge, so it starts to glow, and each one different color is another kind of these noble gases, which are 6, but like 5 we could use as would glow in those tubes, and then mix them, like mix neon with argon. There we have a krypton one. So they all have then their own mixture, and with the resulted electric charge, then they start to glow and also changing.
But it's funny you say the gas was there as a first element with the Big Bang. Yeah. At the same time, you can think of the speed of light, because you think about lighting, no? Lightning. Yeah. And so speaking of duration and longue durée, I think this is nice for us. This is the last room, and it's it connects the speed of light and the Big Bang.